Hello there, welcome to Sir Henry's class, a channel where we make learning easy and absorbable. If this is your first time of watching our video, consider liking, sharing and subscribing, and also recommend the channel to your colleagues. So we are looking at December 2025 mock exams for BECE candidates, and we are going to look at social studies. So we have the first section, that is section 1 under environment. So when you look at the right side, you would find the questions there, and the answers are also on the left side. So number 1A says the surface of the earth is divided into continents and oceans. Apart from that, there are some major features of the earth such as mountain ranges, rivers, hot deserts and tropical rainforest. Study the map of the earth below and answer the following questions. So this is the map of the world with some features of the earth like mountain ranges and rivers and oceans and all that. So I say we should identify the continent labeled I to VI. So on the map, so I is North America. Then we have II, South America. III is Africa. IV is Europe. V is Asia. VI is Australia. Then II says name the oceans labeled O, P, Q, R, S, and T. So O is identified as the Pacific Ocean. So O is the Pacific Ocean. So O is the Pacific Ocean. And then we have P. So P is the Arctic Ocean. P is the Arctic Ocean. And we have Q. Q is the Atlantic Ocean. Q is the Atlantic Ocean. And then we have R also to be the Atlantic Ocean, occupying the southern part of Africa and also to the western side. Or we'll say the northern side of South America, or the southern side, southeastern side of North America. And then we have S, the Indian Ocean, and we have T, the Pacific Ocean. So 1B says a map can be difficult to understand if you do not have the needed map skills, as there are many symbols and features to interpret. Explain 4 characteristics of a good map that makes it easy to understand. So this question is talking about some features of a good map. 1, a good map must have a title. A title gives a brief information about the map. A scale shows the ratio between the distance measured on the ground to the actual distance measured on the map. Conventional signs are the symbols that are used on the map. Legend or key explains conventional signs. And we have the date that tells when the map was drawn. Now 1C says you are preparing a population report for your social studies class using the data below from country Y. Use the information to answer the questions. So this is a table. So you have the age group, population and the percentage. So I says calculate the percentage of the working population in country Y. So anytime we are talking about the working population, we are talking of those that are aged 18 to 59. So in order to find the percentage, the total percentage is 100. And we already have 50.2 for 0 to 17 and then 5.8. So we sum these two numbers up and then subtract it from 100. So the percentage of the working class is 44%. Now, II says the total population. The total population is calculated by summing the 3 different populations we have here. And your answer will be 18,150,000. D. Outline 4 disadvantages of Ghana's population structure. So there is a high dependency burden on the working class. This happens when the children 0 to 17 and the aged are more than those that are working. There will be pressure on social amenities. Government expenses on social services will be high. There will be low savings and investment, slow development, and low tax revenue. So let's go to law and order section 2. So number 2A says, as part of your class project on Ghana's international relations, you are to prepare a brief for a school exhibition. In your notes, explain the following ways in which Ghana cooperates with other countries. So I, political cooperation. So political cooperation is a form of cooperation where countries form international political organizations like the UN and the AU so they can give much respect and international recognitions to themselves and so on. So the definition is there. And then we have cultural cooperation, a form of cooperation where countries agree to learn one another's culture through exchange programs and other activities to strengthen the cultural bond between nations. And then 2B says highlights 4 ways through which Ghanaians can help sustain national unity. So 1, through political tolerance. Through political tolerance, that is respect for divergent views. Being patriotic, that's having a sense of love and feeling for your country. Promotion of inter-ethnic marriages. Promotion of a common indigenous national language, and also encouraging the boarding school system. These ways would help to promote national unity in the country. 2C says, in what 4 ways can law and order be maintained among students in your school? So 1, enforcement of the law by teachers and school authorities. 2, obedience or compliance to rules and regulations. So we must sensitize the kids to know that it is their duty to be obedient and comply to the laws and rules and regulations in the school. Respect for one another. Applying fear of sanctions to deter students from breaking the law. All these are some ways that you can maintain law and order among students in the school. So D says, outline 4 reasons why law and order is important to the people of Ghana. Benefits of law and order. So it promotes peace, it brings about development, it promotes stability and good governance, and it also helps to protect lives and properties in the country. 3A says, outline 4 reasons for which the Fanti Confederation was formed. So the Fanti Confederation was a movement or an association that was formed in the 1868 to resist the oppression from the British during that time. So this confederation was formed by some of the states in the central region around Mankasim area. So it was about 8 and later 3 joined, and then they were fighting against the colonial influence on the people of the Fantis or people of that coastline, the coastline. So reasons why it was formed: 1, the interference of the British into the affairs of the coastal people. 2, the failure of the British to protect the southern states from the attacks of the Ashantis in 1863. To protect against the paying of levies imposed on them. So there was a levy called the Poll Tax Ordinance of 1852, which they forced the people to pay. In order for them to oppose it, not to pay, that was why they also formed this confederation to prevent the Dutch from forcibly taking over Commander. So Commander was one of the important towns that was producing salt, and the British had interest in it. They wanted to prevent them from getting interest and also capturing the place. So 3B says highlight 4 positive consequences of the 1948 riot. So 1, it increased the level of political awareness of Ghanaians. It led to the arrest of the Bixes. It brought about the formation of the Watson Commission. It also increased the fight for liberation of Ghanaians. Now 3C says state 3 key factors that led to the migration of ethnic groups into Ghana: the search for fertile lands for farming, the search for peace and security, to escape from cruel or wicked leaders, the increase in population, among others. D, with suitable examples, explain the difference between conflict prevention and conflict management. So conflict prevention is the process of identifying signals of conflict and encouraging the people to work out their differences to avoid clash. Conflict management, on the other hand, is the use of various mechanisms and initiatives to reduce tension in an ongoing conflict to facilitate resolution. So, what we left out was example. Yes, so when we take the conflict prevention here, the conflict has not yet occurred, but you are finding ways and means to ensure that if there are hints of any conflict, you try to prevent it before it escalates or before it occurs. So an example that you can give is, for example, when the chief in a community calls people or call families to sensitize them on the need to be peaceful. Here, the chief is trying to prevent it. The thing has not even occurred, but he's finding a way to prevent it for it not to occur. All right. And then with the management, so with the management, for example, when you can say Otunfo went to the northern side to settle a dispute, that is a conflict management. With this one, the conflict has occurred and you want to reduce the tensions so that it doesn't bring too much of effect. At least you'll be able to manage and then resolve it amicably and totally. So 4A says, during a civic education class, your teacher asks your group to discuss social problems affecting the youth. You are asked with focusing on indiscipline. I explain what is meant by indisciplined behavior. So when we say indisciplined behavior, they are the actions or attitude that go against the established rules, the norms, or the expected standards of conduct in a home, school, or workplace. 4AI, I say, list 4 behaviors that can constitute indisciplined behavior. So you coming late or skipping tasks without permission, cheating or lying, bullying, vandalism, and so on and so forth. 4B says mention 4 ways by which indisciplined behavior affects the individual in the society. So effects can lead to poor academic performance, loss of opportunities, damage to your reputation, increased conflicts, among others. Then 4C says explain 4 reasons why socialization is important for individuals and society. So socialization helps in the development of your personality, learning of social skills, teaching of norms and values, preservation of culture, among others. 4D says highlight 4 duties of a responsible parent: provision of basic needs, offering love and emotional support, ensuring proper education and training, among others. Now 5A says identify 4 usefulness of the extended family system in our society: provision of support and care, strengthening of socialization, provision of emotional support, promote a sense of unity and belonging, among others. 5B says highlight 4 demerits of the extended family system. So financial pressure on the working members, lack of privacy, slow decision making, interference in nuclear family affairs. 5C says give 4 disadvantages of patrilineal system of inheritance. So the properties are passed through the male line. There's a strong family identity. Here, there's a clear male leadership, and it reduces confusion, since we have in mind who will inherit the property, and there's economic stability in the family. So 5D says outline 4 measures that can be taken to improve agricultural inputs in Ghana. That's 5D. 5D. Alright. So 1. The use of modern technology, access to financial support and assistance, effective pest and disease control, so to reduce post-harvest losses, development of agro-processing industries to add value to our raw products. So these are some questions that are relating to December mock for BECU students. We have a WhatsApp group where we learn, we share ideas. We'll be happy if you can join. So the link will be in the description. Kindly tap on the link so you can join our class. Thank you for watching. This is your humble tutor, St. Henry. Like, share, comment, subscribe, and recommend the channel to your colleagues. Thank you and have a nice day.